990WBOB.com. Pharaoh back with Mike Sandoval. We're still working titles, so AKA COVIDCast, AKA Home Transmission, AKA Cranston Cast. Let us know in the comments what you think, which one you like best. And like I said before, maybe we'll run with it, maybe we won't. We kind of roll that way. Or we might just steal your idea and say it's ours, which is probably more likely. This week, another wonderful show, another great car guy. We got Alan Primo Harris. Alan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent, sir.
Good. So, Alan, aggressivedesign.net. You can check out the website. You can check out the YouTube channel. Big car guy. Tell us how you got started in this car game.
Ooh, oh, man. So when I would say in the 70s with my grandfather, I was born in Martinsville, Virginia, which is, as we were talking before, is a NASCAR country. So I was raised right next to a NASCAR track. But my grandfather was a car collector, and he had a T model. He had the first ever fully loaded vehicle. He had a 66 mint green Mustang, probably had about, I'd say 8 or 9 vehicles. So most of the times in my life, I was really cutting my teeth on some sort of car that was, some sort of cutting edge thing, basically rehashing it. So we go to car shows. I got like trophies from like the 70s that he won.
Nice.
But that was the thing is I got into that, and then I watched Smokey and the Bandit, and it was much, it was all the crying was over because it was already too late.
Yeah.
I want my, 6.6 liter Trans Am, and that was all that she wrote. So
nice. So was that your first car? You said?
No, my first official car was an '82 Trans Am with a red. Mm-hmm.
I had a 84 Z28 was my first, and I drove that like an idiot. I don't even know how I'm still alive. So what's your favorite car you've ever had?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know it's like picking your favorite kid, but I mean,
Yeah, see, that's the thing is kind of one of the things that I do is I get to drive a ton of cars. So it's very difficult for me to say what I've driven that I really like the best. Of the stuff that I've owned, I mean, my Porsches are really, I've had 3 Porsche 944s. I love the handling feel of them. I love the power to them. They're a very difficult car to work on, so they're not for everybody.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And they're not inexpensive. So it may be, you could spend a good car. People will say you get one for like, $4,000 to $6,000. If you're going to get one for that price, you're probably going to put another $6,000 in it to make it work with oil and things of that nature. So most of the cars today are going to go for $12,000. If you spend that kind of money, you're going to get a good car, but it's something that it's very weird. It has weird electrical issues. It has stuff all the time. But the crazy thing is how reliable they'll start. So it's every time I go out, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it starts right up and goes. So, but I like driving that car. But my Genesis has gotten a lot of love lately. So I
like those. I like those. I got love for those. I looked at those hard for a little while when I was car shopping, and it, the reviews, the reliability, the look, the luxury. Nice whip. I gotta say. So tell us a little bit about aggressivedesign.net. How long you've been doing that, and just give the fans, before they go click on it, a little bit of an elevator pitch.
Right. So when I started out, and this was a long, long time ago, probably about in the 90s, I came back into basically doing cars, and I wanted to do stuff. And I started to have trouble. The more I wanted to do stuff, the more I wanted to upgrade things, the more difficult things were to find tires and guys that would turn wrenches. I had friends that were having problems suffering. And so basically it just happened over time. And in 2004, I turned aggressivedesign.net into an actual company. And then after that came the website. And the reason it is a .net is because it's a network of car guys. And it was huge. We had so many people that would, tell us what, if you wanted to find something, you could find it. It was the biggest concierge service for any kind of tuner, exotic, old cars, you name it. And that's how I got it started. What happened was I started writing, obviously with the stuff that I was doing, a lot of people wanted to have information. So I started writing articles. I got more into writing, and I started writing for people. Like I worked for Hot Import Night City, HIN City, when it was, I was their head blog writer for a little bit.
Nice.
And so that was the kind of thing. It was like, one is going with the other. We might as well do something with it. And it turned into stuff like this. I ended up making articles and featuring cars. And really, I wanted to learn the spirit of the car community. And I wanted to find a voice to be able to share that car community with everybody else in the world so that they would want to come to it and join us and have a good experience. And it's a constant learning experience, and I love it.
Now, and you've kind of parlayed this just from kind of written into into the video now too. We talked earlier today, and I was yelling at you because you didn't steal a great idea. I wish I would. I might steal your idea with the car side chat. I do love that. I like once I saw it, I was like, why didn't I think of something like this? It's just a real cool concept. Just sitting by the car and having an interview with people, or just going on your monologue, and it's all great content. And it's very encompassing. Like you were saying with the written, very encompassing of the whole the car community, and from your novice that just like looking at cars to the full on wrenchers. And I think it's cool. But you also have some other content on there besides the car side chat. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so I do a car show called What It's Like to Drive. And what I do is I have, obviously with this network, I've got a lot of people that build cars and make these new things. And I mean, anybody can go out and do a Top Gear style show. And they're going to see something like, what's this new car? What's this new Corvette drive like?
Yep.
You get a ton of those, but nobody has a show that really shows the aftermarket thing. So they goes, what's it like to be lowered? That right there is a wake-up call. If you've ever driven a super low car, or one of my favorite ones was we drove a drift car that was street driven,
Yeah.
and a car that would wake you up. But it was, for me, if you were a normal person and saying, I'm going to buy this car and do a drift setup and then drive around and be comfortable, no. But if you were the race guy and you were like, I want to feel that feel on the street, it was really cool to do it. And it's gone into things like we're going to do a Volkswagen Bug Apocalypse car.
Oh yeah.
We got a hold of the Kit car. That's Kit from the show.
From Knight Rider.
Right. So those are going to be
Nice.
the next episode. But the first ones we did was Lowrider, old school drag car, a bunch of different cars in there that we did that was just a blast to do. And it was that season, the one that's What It's Like to Drive right there.
Okay. Yep.
That was just that Cadillac right there was
Oh.
easily my favorite. That's Chris. And
Well, both of the 66s I just saw, the truck and the caddy. That's my style. I'm an old man, but that's my style right there. Give me both of those.
And that Cadillac was easily my favorite of all those. And I think that one is the one that I think has been the most popular among most people. The other one was we did a memorial one for a VIP car, which not a lot of people understand how VIP works. The second one in there, and that car was actually dedicated to a guy by the name of Brandon, and his friend Roger bought that car, got it back from Florida, redid it up, rebuilt it, and then dedicated the car to his friend that got killed in a motorcycle accident. So,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's awesome.
blast to do. Like, just being part of that was, and that's the thing is you get to drive it and see what a VIP car. That one actually shocked me too, because I did not expect it to be as fun to drive as it was.
Okay. Yeah, I know you think Infiniti Q45, like they're a nice car and all, but really kitted out, they're beasts. I've seen a couple on the interwebs, and like, yeah, you can really make them a beast. That Datsun's beautiful too. That 71 Datsun 240Z.
Yep.
That thing's mint.
He sold that car for, it was so funny. He calls me up and he says, we sold the car for $310,000. And I didn't know what to say. And he was like, can you come down and do a video coverage of this? And we ended up sending that to, I think, Drive and some other websites out there that wanted to pick it up. But yeah, it was the only exclusive interview in the world for that one car. And that car is crazy. Like, just so perfect.
Yeah, look at that. That's so mint too. All factory, I'm assuming. Original.
Everything. He even ordered the wheels to match what it was when the car was sold new.
Back
He had
in 71.
the wheels for it too.
That's cool, man. So I love some of those. I'm a big American car guy, but some of these, watching a lot of these drift shows and drift channels and stuff like that, I'm really getting into some of these, like, just imports and stuff like that. I was never a big BMW or Mercedes guy either, like, and I'm starting to look at a lot of those and go, oh man, those are pretty awesome. Like, I want to take an old E36 and just
Yeah.
make a drift car. Like, I'm telling you, man, just a beater ass drift car.
What I learned, it was so funny. I was at a lowrider meet last Saturday, and I remember joking at somebody, and they said, "What have you learned most from the car world?" And I said, "I don't have enough money."
Yeah. Oh, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to hit the lottery so that we can have our car garages. I'd have a little house in a gigantic garage. So, Mike, if you want to pull up, so we have Alan. You submitted a couple videos. I asked you for your 2 favorite car videos. And obviously that's tough with a lot of the car stuff that's on the internet these days and on YouTube and everything. And I wanted to watch them live, or recorded live in front of a studio audience, whatever. But I wanted to get me and Mike's honest reactions out of them. Which one you want to go with? The what was it, the F1 sound on that HSV?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it up on here. All right.
You hit optimize or whatever too, Mike.
Yep. Yeah, I made sure I did that just in case.
All right. You know what you're doing.
Yep,
I don't even know
we're
what
good.
you're talking about.
There we go.
Dude, that sounds ridiculous.
Looks like I have some very tight handling on it.
Oh yeah, it's on a rail. Right there, that's the exhaust note right there going into that first turn. I want to see a downshift, shoot some flames. And it's a damn Honda. That might have been the exhaust note, my favorite one, but I keep having a lot of favorite ones.
Every single one you hear.
I know, yeah. I'm like a kid. I don't know what it is. And the downforce they must get out of that wing is absolutely ridiculous too.
Have you ever watched the Super GT racing before?
I've seen some, yeah. I'm starting to get more into the different kinds of racing. I've always just been, drag racing, NASCAR, dirt, stuff like that. So I'm pulling myself out of my stubborn American ways and kind of getting into more stuff.
That was my problem back in the day, was because I was raised in a NASCAR community, and here I liked the Lamborghini Murcielago. The Countach. And so I have all these relatives going by Ford, and I'm like, look at this Murcielago, look at the design that goes into it. And it's funny because I was into that GT style track racing, and they just never got it. They never understood it. And then I got into the Super GT stuff, and there's just the history to it. Seeing a Subaru on the track racing against a Mitsubishi, it's like, where do you get that,
Yeah, that was always my thing. Like, same here. I had the Lamborghini Countach, the red one with the lightning bolts on the Trapper Keeper when I was a kid. the red Ferrari Testarossa, watching Miami Vice, going, man, I want one of those. But exotic cars were not even in my wheelhouse at the time. It was your classics and stuff like that. Like I said, drag racing and my uncle. We talked a little bit about my Seacock Speedway past earlier before the show, but my uncle also had a IHRA Pro Mod Camaro, '86 Camaro that he'd race up at Epping. That was just probably the craziest car I ever got to stand next to at the time, and probably it's still up there. 700 cubic inch, just ripper. And the chop on that would just blow you across the street.
And it's not just with those cars, and why I liked them was it wasn't just the sound, it wasn't just the performance, the smell, the feel.
Yeah. Yep.
You remember that? Like, I can still smell being at the track and smelling 100+ octane fuel. Like,
yep.
That will take you right back, and you know where you are. It's visceral. Is that the word for it? It's something that
absolutely.
Automatically, if there's emotion, there's feeling, everything is attached to it.
Yeah, the smell of the 100 octane and the tire smoke and just the grease and the oil and just everything. You go to a race, I'm telling you, anybody that's out there that's watching this has never been to a race and you think it's just oh, guys, driving cars fast, don't care. Just go. You're going to love the first one you go to. I guarantee it. And come back and next time when you go, come back to this video, drop it in the comments and tell us how much you liked it, because you're going to love it. I'm telling you right now. So we got one more on Decky. What do we got on this one?
This is the Lamborghini Murcielago RGT from Ryder Engineering. This was Lamborghini. And a lot of people say Lamborghini first got into racing. Ferruccio did not want Lamborghini to get into racing. And when Audi took them over in '98, they said they wanted to get into racing and be serious about it. And a lot of people were kind of excited about that. The Murcielago was the RGT was the first car that they had that was their push to have a racing division. But listen to it.
Okay. I love the sound of Lambos too. Lambos and Ferraris.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. With the burble on the downshift. Love it. Even at slow speed, it just is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's always been something about the Lamborghinis, especially Murcielagos, that I've always enjoyed. It's just like the way they look, just so sleek and exotic.
And it's just aggressive.
Yes.
And basically underneath, if you take a Diablo, a Murcielago, or Countach, they really look very similar with their ladder frame construction. You really couldn't tell the difference between the two. But that's why I really liked when they started bringing out the, especially the 6.5 liter for the Murcielago. It was just, it's a different experience. And it's the crazy thing about it. It is not the fastest car they've ever designed. It's not the fastest race car. It is made to be driven on the streets. And that was something that Ferruccio's vision and the people that make up Lamborghini, it really is. It's one of those brands. That's why it's unfortunate. You're like, oh, which car have you owned that you like the most? And it was like, I really want to say Lambo, but I've never owned one. So, but it's the reason is not because of the car itself or what it can do or how it sounds. There's something to the family mindset that's associated with both Lamborghini and Lamborghini owners that's just totally different. These are the kind of guys that just they put their head forward and they hit obstacles and they break through them. And they buy the cars that they do to represent themselves. And it's just, yeah, if you get a chance to talk to a Lamborghini guy or an owner or somebody like that, just have a sincere conversation with them and listen to the stuff that they've gone to. I mean, I know guys that own them that have been plumbers, construction, all of this other stuff. These guys aren't guys that are like, up in ivory towers. These are guys that have been in the trenches, and they've now had this car, and they're getting to live it, and it's so it's something at your heart, man. Really just pulls at why I keep going back to this brand.
So I'm assuming I can kind of do it, but I'm assuming you're probably better at it than me. If you're sitting in your house or you're somewhere and you hear an exhaust note, I'm pretty sure you can guess what car it is, right? Pretty close anyway.
The longer I've gone on, the less proficient I am. I'm better at smelling octane than I am with picking out a car.
Like a D85. Yeah.
A lot of guys now, it's like it's a 350 small block or 454. And I've seen a couple of flatheads now that have glass pack exhaust that they're just something distinct about them that if they had driven up, they did it so differently that I really couldn't pick it out. But I really was like, write down what you did there because it's not what the traditional thinking was. And it brought something different to the table. So I like hearing the exhaust sounds I don't know more than the ones I do. So
I could see that. I mean, obviously, I could say probably even a layman could probably pick out like a Mustang exhaust note or like a Ferrari exhaust note. Those are pretty iconic to those brands for the most part. But that's a good way to look at it. I never looked at it like that. The ones that go, wait a minute, what the hell is that? Like,
think about this one though, and I think you might actually get this one. Is if you closed your eyes and walked past cars, you'd be able to tell which one was the Monty by the smell.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, I know that's either a Cutlass or a Monty or something.
I was gonna say a Cutlass or a Monty, Regal, maybe a Regal. It's definitely a G body.
Right. Yep.
Or you hear the door open on a G body. You know it's a G body.
Yeah.
Kunk.
You're like, that flame is definitely twisted. I'm not saying anything bad, but I know why it's twisted. I'm just saying it is. So
that's great. So what else? What can we expect in the upcoming weeks out of aggressivedesign.net via the YouTube? Do you have anything planned? Are you going? This will probably be up either tonight or tomorrow. So this weekend, are you coming down for the Untamed event?
Actually, I have. We're doing some birthday drives.
Okay.
I have some stuff with the Creeps Car Club. Mm-hmm. They're doing a build for a car that is going the benefit or the money that's being spent into the car. It's going to be raffled off to somebody, and all the proceeds are going to be going to Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're supposed to do that at the end of the month. He said he's going to be delaying that, so I don't know when the next time was. That was kind of next on it, but I have some drives. I run New England Car Show Review, so I have a laundry list of things that I can do and have at my disposal. I love doing the Untamed events. They're some of the funnest ones I do because you get the real people that are involved in it. But there's a lot of other groups, especially like the Goons right now are getting ready for Viva East.
Okay.
They have a 1950 shoebox that they've been doing up that had a 1UZFE Toyota engine that now they're changing back to a small block motor. Just the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And I'm also working with some other places like Auto House of Boston, covering their stuff. So and they always, they're doing a major service on a Ferrari Testarossa.
I was gonna say Auto House does a lot of high end stuff, like high-end exotics and shit, right?
So yeah, and we just got done with a Mondial that was in there. That car was it's from Germany. It was its first major service, and seeing a car like that, which is driving art, go from just this base idea and then having all this stuff put in it, and suddenly it was like watching the Mona Lisa get touched up and seeing it come out and hearing it run, and just like So I think my thing is I have too much to do. That's my problem.
Hey, that's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. You know, it could be worse, you know, and having a lot to do, and especially in, you know, the bullshit that we're living in right now, where, you know, a lot of things are getting delayed and pushed back and things of that nature, especially a lot of the car stuff, which I don't really understand because we're in our cars. Just let us go do it.
That's one of the big things that we were looking for this year was the Mission 22 rally. I'm
Mm.
one of the organizers for that event,
Okay.
and we fortunately had to cancel it for this year. And I mean, we want to do something else, but it really is just waiting for this whole thing to blow over and see if we can bring stuff out because that's something that's near and dear to our heart. And
Mm.
it just, you know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah.
you are spinning your tires literally. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, and not in a good way like we usually do.
but these things have really I mean, that's the thing I love about the adaptability of the car community is we went from saying we couldn't do car shows to we just did a drive 2 weeks ago for a girl who was graduating that they didn't celebrate her graduation right,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I think it was 200 cars to drive by her house, and she
that's
you know what I
that's
mean.
awesome. That
Every
I've seen all the graduation ones, the birthday ones, all that stuff, and I think that's something that maybe we didn't think of that much before all of this,
would
you
we right.
know. But I think that's something that should continue on even once we're all back, you know, because it's a great thing. You know, it's the kids, they love coming out seeing it. Shit, my birthday was in March, so I didn't even really have one. I would love to have one come by my house, and I'm 41 something. I don't even know, like, but so I think that that's just cool, especially, you know, for you know, like my I have two younger brothers. They're like 14 years old, super car kids, car heads, trucks and all that stuff. And it was cool to just bring them down. I brought them down to the last Cars and Coffee, and I was like the first car show I had been to with them, and they would just walk around like eyes wide open. They like didn't know what to look at, and I remember seeing that. I remembered like why I love cars when I started when I was a kid, you know. And it's a small thing. Some people don't get it. It's whatever. But it's just, you know, that visceral feeling, like you're saying, just the smell of the gasoline, the smell of the tires, the, you know, that's the sounds that a car makes, like just those little things is really what drives us together as a car community. And I think the car community is awesome right now. I mean, don't, you know, people at home that do search a lot of car stuff on the YouTubes and stuff, sometimes you don't see the best of the car community. Don't let that fool you. That's a few and far between clickbait kind of stuff sometimes.
Mhm.
A lot of us are very responsible. We do like to hoon and do dumb shit, but we do it responsibly. I mean, I think you can agree with that, right, Alan?
Absolutely. Oh, it's yeah, that subject alone is one that I have fought a huge battle for. Is the thing is I grew up in the car community. It wasn't just something. I mean, I'm close to the big 50 coming up in a couple of years now. And the thing is I've seen the people look at me and say, well, you know, you deal with these hoodlums or these guys that make noise. And yeah, are there people that do that? Sure, there's some kids out there that probably rev their engines a little too high or don't think.
Yeah.
But one of the things is us as the example have really set a precedence to say that there is no negative. If we're doing stuff, we're doing it together. We're doing it
Mm.
as a community, and it's not. It's the thing is if I can do it more, saying it's not just a community. We need to be a family. We need to be
Yeah.
something where you know it's okay to have a talk because we get mad from time to time, and that's okay because we as a group are strong together.
Mm.
And this thing is, you can't go wrong if you have that kind of mindset. No matter what club you're in, no matter what car you drive, any of that stuff. And I am seeing more and more that people want to adopt that mentality. And the
Yeah, I
thing,
am too.
we're becoming a better community because of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not always, you know, don't be scared to come roll up in your stock car. You know what I mean? Like, come by. You know, who cares what you have? Even if you get a beater, like, do you love that beater? Bring it by. Like, you know, I think that's what it comes down to too. Do you just love cars, and maybe you just don't have the money to put into X, Y, and Z, whether it's a new stock car or an old beater? Just come out, hang out, talk to
Mhm.
other car guys. No one's gonna make fun of you because of it or anything like that. It's not that type of community. You
Right.
know, I can bring out my stock ass Cadillac. Doesn't looks like it just drove off the showroom 5 years ago, and nothing's been done to it. Nobody cares. You know, it's still fun, and I don't care. I'll park right next to the, you know, big horsepower Corvette and not give a shit.
And that's the beauty of the car world is that think of the car world as kind of a personal experience. Your car is your first journey, your community is your second journey, and winning is your third journey. So
Yeah.
it's just like life of, you have that thing where you expand and you grow. You got to start somewhere. You got to go out. You got to shake hands. You got to meet people. And then you start learning stuff and you understand that making a mistake is okay. And that's the thing is that you can't, you're not going to go to any guru on the top of any mountain and learn any better than you would going out in the back and saying, I'm going to do an oil change in my car. Never done it before. This is the learning experience. This is the way we move forward in life, and bring it with you to everything you do in your life, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, even as, you bring up simple things as, I never done an oil change before. Don't be afraid to either ask, join a car community and ask, or, I mean, honestly, even YouTube.
Yep.
There's so much information out there on how to do things. Don't go pay Joe Schmo $100 for an oil change when you can do it yourself for, a fraction of the cost.
Right.
And anything, you know what I mean? I'll look before I do anything anywhere. I'll just like, all right, can I do this myself? I'm pretty sure I can do this myself. It's like I got a little dent in the front quarter of the caddy from someone in a parking lot. And I'm like, the first thing I did, I'm like, I could do this myself. Like I could pull the front quarter off. It's what, like, dozen bolts, couple clips. I just got to buy a new one. It's going to be a cheaper route than me going through any other way. Just ask, go around. I'm in a couple Cadillac communities, on Facebook groups. And that was the first thing I said, like, how hard is this shit? Is this possible to do in a home garage? I'm like, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Like, okay, and then that's once again harking back to just the great community that we have as a car club or a car community. And just ask, just be friendly.
And think about that. The guys that created NASCAR was literally a bunch of drunk dudes with old hot rods that had nothing better to do than to turn a carb someplace. And they were like, maybe it works. Maybe it blows the exhaust off the back of my car, whatever. I've been there and I've seen it, and it's a lot of fun. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I've never enjoyed feeling so much as working on a car. So
yeah, it's fun even when it's not. All right, Alan, thank you very much. If you want to hit us up, if you can hit up the audience with any of your socials, where to find you, next things you're coming up, et cetera, et cetera.
If you want to see me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's at VIP PRIMO. I'm on every platform you see out there. If you put those letters in, you're going to get my personal stuff. The website is aggressivedesign.net. You should be able to just search Aggressive Design on YouTube and find me. We're going to continue to have I will lambast that thing with enough content to sink a ship. And if you're the kind of person that loves supporting the car community, bringing us together through the success of engineering and making ourselves better through our cars, this is the place to be.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And thank you for coming on. Make sure, fans, aggressivedesign.net, go on there, go into their shop, go buy some T-shirts and stuff. Go take care of them. They get some good stuff, some of their sponsored products and stuff like that. Go spend some money. Tell them aggressivedesign.net sent you, and come out to a car show. Maybe you'll see me, maybe you'll see Alan, maybe you'll see both of us. We'll all hang out, we'll talk to shit, have a good time. Alan Primo Harris, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, my friend. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate being out.
All right, this has been 990WBOB.com, home transmissions, aka COVIDCast, aka CranstonCast, all the AKAs. Mikey, thank you very much as always. Good job. And make sure you check out 990WBOB.com for all the past casts, videos, the articles, the whole nine. Check us out. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Hit the bell. Let us know. Blah, blah, blah. You know how to do it. You've done it before. Check it out. We out.